And now the Hansons and Hiatus podcast with Nate and Alexis.
Happy Friday, fuckers. It's episode 40 of Hansons on Hiatus. I am your host, Nate, and this is my wife, Alexis.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
And don't forget to support the podcast. buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. You can buy us a beer. You can buy us 10 beers. Whatever you feel like.
40?
Yeah, 40. Yeah, I mean, if you can, I'll drink them.
You will.
Also, wherever you're watching or listening, you can also follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Music, tons of other ones, I think. So All the things. Yeah, so this last week / weekend was relatively uneventful. We didn't
say.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's stuff that happened, but it wasn't like we didn't go climbing a pyramid or something like that,
True.
We just kind of stayed in town and hung out. Our friend Chrissy was in town still.
Yep, my BFF. I like those weekends when we don't have everything, like, planned, to the T, like, every
Right.
single day. Not that it's that stressful, but it's nice to just, like, oh, what are we going to do today? And just figure it out and see what the weather's like.
Yeah, so we did some cooking at home since it was kind of cold, quote unquote.
I know,
cold.
everybody's going to make fun of us. It got a little chilly here, and,
And to us,
Mexico.
cold is I switched from tank top to t-shirt.
Yep.
And maybe we can't go swimming all day. It might just be for a couple hours in the midst of the day.
Yeah, like today's a little overcast, a little, rainy. But
Yeah.
It's been like that.
Yeah, so we did some cooking. We made nachos one night.
We did. We made some nachos. You've had this gooey cheese you've been hanging on for a while. It was delicious.
You got it. Like, when we get these imported things, you get it when you can. And
Yes.
I was like, oh, yeah.
I don't even remember where you found that gooey cheese.
It was at Chedraui, but
Okay.
but it was only available for like a limited time for something, so you got to swoop it up. And that's the other thing I've noticed in the grocery store, especially with holiday stuff.
Yes.
It normally, I don't know, like Halloween, whatever, in the States, you can buy stuff up until and through that holiday, and then the next day maybe candy's on sale or something, or the
Right.
costumes or whatever.
Right.
They put the shit out there like Halloween or Thanksgiving or Christmas maybe a month in advance, and probably for a week, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
So like, we bought Santa Claus hats for Christmas that we got for like 50 pesos at the grocery store maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
They're gone already.
Gone.
I mean, and not like they ran out, like they just take the displays away. They're already on to the next. They're doing floor sets, baby. They're on to the next one.
Moving. They only get so much of everything, and then once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah. So so we made some nachos with the cheese that I had been hoarding.
We did. They were excellent.
And they have it here, but it's not a common thing. The gooey cheese,
Right.
Yeah, that's more of an Americanized thing, as far as I understand.
Correct,
Like,
yeah.
if you're going to a all inclusive, or maybe certain restaurants might have like the gooey nacho melted cheese you get at a baseball game or a movie.
Yeah.
But typically it's not. It's just shredded cheese is more common here, and that's not even common on tacos.
No.
Any kind of cheese.
It's really not, and it's probably healthier.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
it's
so
okay.
so we made nachos, and then we ran out of tortilla chips, so I invented a new type of nachos I call crachos.
So gross.
Just rolls off the tongue, crachos.
Crachos. What is crachos?
Crachos are nachos with crackers.
Crackers.
Crachos.
Gotcha.
Cracker nachos.
Instead of
Yeah.
nacho chips.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, maybe keep working on that name.
Yeah, I think you're on the right track, but not very appetizing, I'll say.
Yeah. Well, some people like to eat crotches.
Yeah.
And we support them.
Gross.
But they were good. I used some, and we have Ritz, but our go-tos are called Crackets here.
Crackers. They're way better than
They're
Ritz.
better than Ritz. They're not as
Sorry.
like salty and sweet or whatever, or too buttery.
Too buttery.
They're just right. They're the Goldilocks of Crackets.
We find that a lot. We find our staple, items that we use all the time, but we found the Mexico version or Mexico brand of it, and we tend to like them more. It's like less sodium, less preservatives, less, ingredient crap, whatever it is, but you love those crackets, and I love that they're called crackets.
Yeah. Crack-ass Crackets.
Crack-ass crackets.
Yeah, so I made some crachos, patent pending.
Yes.
All rights reserved.
Don't steal it.
Yep.
I know you want to.
Or trademarked. And then I made some baked ziti.
You did. That's one of my favorites. It's actually your brother's recipe.
Yeah, it's my
right?
brother's recipe, Alex.
Famous big CD
Yeah.
from Alex. It's so
Alejandro's Mexican ziti.
Yes. It was really good. It was like, like you said, it was cold and kind of rainy, and we've been feeling that holiday kind of vibe, and we want like the comfort food, like the pastas and lasagnas and chilies and things like that. But most days it's really hot here, so we don't want to make those, and we don't want to have a ton of leftovers. But the big ziti was perfect.
Yes, it was. Yeah, and it was funny because we had made it and we're eating leftovers, and I think it was Tuesday was a holiday here.
Oh.
And it was funny because I saw a lot of expats posting in the groups like, what's going on like north of the or right by the highway? It sounds like there's a shootout and there's all these sirens and stuff, and it was fireworks for the Virgin Guadalupe.
We heard it too. A lot of sirens, a lot of like police cars, and a lot of like pop, pop, pop.
Yeah,
Like,
and pop.
what is that?
and correct me if I'm wrong, and I may be wrong. I'm just going off of from my experience and what I've learned and know and stuff. I thought I read that fireworks are illegal in Mexico.
Oh.
But they have like kind of knockoff ones, like almost like homemade ones. And there's a guy that rolls around with a trash can, and he like the kids will buy fireworks off him, but they're not like our fireworks. So like when people I saw in this group were saying this fireworks, like I've been a gun owner for 27 years and I've had 5,000 hours at the range, and I know what a gun sounds like. The fireworks aren't the same as like what we like. Our fireworks go up in the air and they're bright and beautiful, and they
sparkles and pop.
These, from what I can understand, are kind of like M80s. Like they just do the pop.
Pops.
So that's what the kids are doing, and they're just kind of sporadic. So maybe it sounds like gunshots or whatever. But then a lot of people were jumping on these people that were complaining and saying like, if you live in this country, you should know all the holidays and stuff. Which agreed, but also there's a lot of holidays in Mexico.
There's a lot of, I'm sure we have a lot of, kind of small side holiday, Columbus Day.
Yeah, but I'm not going to like get upset at somebody like, you don't know what Arbor Day is?
Right,
Come on.
Right. But there are a lot of holidays here, and they're always fun. They're always doing something like shooting off fireworks in the middle of the street. And
yeah, so I don't really know about the Day of Virgin Guadalupe or whatever. I was unfamiliar with it. Right. I know of the Virgin of Guadalupe, but I didn't know like the holiday or anything like that. So I was like, I better do a little bit of research and read about it.
Right.
And it's I think it's between the 9th and the 12th, but technically it's the 12th is like the big day. And it's I'm reading from Wiki, so sorry, but I'm just giving you all some information.
Please,
the Day of the Virgin of Guadalupe is a popular Catholic feast day that celebrates the anniversary of the appearance of the Virgin Mary, Mexico's patron saint, in Mexico City on December 9th and 12th in 1531.
Ooh.
And I was reading about that. It was some guy, Juan Diego, who was it says he was a peasant.
Oh.
So he was just some guy that I guess, and I was reading, he saw her like a couple times, and she told him to go like build this church or something, and something about his uncle being sick and he was saved or whatever. And he went back and saw her, and I'm sorry, Catholic people, I'm probably butchering this, but this is what I've just kind of glossed over and read. Oh yeah. So, and nothing against anyone's religion. Everybody has the right to practice their own religion, but I just find it interesting. This story seems similar to like the Mormon one where, Joseph Smith goes and talks to God or whatever, and he tells him to write these things down on these gold books or whatever the whole story is there. I just find it interesting that there's a lot of these religious stories from back, this was the Guadalupe ones, 1531, that they're just going off the word of like some guy. Like this is some peasant, Juan.
Yeah.
Can you imagine in today's day and age if let's say equivalent to a peasant, I don't know, like not technically like a homeless guy, but like somebody that was like lower class, like if they went and said, hey, I saw, Jesus at, behind Publix or something like that, and he talked to me, he told me I need to do these things. Nobody would take them seriously.
No,
so
like, oh, you're crazy.
I just find it crazy that 600 years later, an entire country is celebrating this guy seeing the Virgin Mary and talking to her with like not a ton of evidence other than him. I mean, there weren't cell phones or anything like that. Right. So it's just interesting to me that all these like religious stories, whatever religion they are, all happen way back in the day from some guy who said something,
Yeah.
but there isn't like a real way to prove it other than people saying things. And it's a lot of times it's hearsay and stuff.
I agree too. It is. I mean, everybody do your own thing, but it is a little. We probably wouldn't believe that person, or maybe back then people were a little more trustworthy and honest. They're not making up lies or being as deceiving or that kind of stuff. So they're like, oh, we know Juan. He's always honest with us. So why would we not believe him?
Juan Diego. Oh, I used to play kickball with him.
Yeah,
he's an upstanding dude.
We have coffee every day. I believe him. Every word he says.
And I'm not saying that this didn't happen. I just find it interesting the difference in times and what would happen now versus then. Like you don't or rarely hear of anything happening in the last maybe 100 years that has influenced a religion or a group of people to do things. And if they did, it's called a cult.
Yes. I was like,
yeah. But it's like, you don't see that you might see it on the news, but it's not taken as fact or whatever. Like, oh, this guy said he talked to Jesus. You're like, all right, this guy needs some mental help.
Yes, right. That's cute. I'm worried.
Yeah. But it's a big drinking holiday. And also,
of course.
Because remember last year we got the card and you're supposed to drink like a beer every day for like until January 5th or something.
Oh. I forgot about that.
Yeah, the one we got from Chela de Playa. So,
right,
and I don't think I did it all 12 days because I wasn't, here for some of them or something.
Right.
But so yeah, I don't know where the drinking comes into play, but I'm on board.
Yes, I'm on board too. Probably we'll get some holy wine later or something.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a holiday going on this week.
I love it. We know Guadalupe from Xcaret. She's all over Xcaret.
Yeah, and they do the
like the show at the end of the night.
They lay these like blankets down, and then at the end of it, it looks like a giant Guadalupe.
Yeah, she's beautiful. Yeah, in the church too there. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was like I said, a holiday that happened this week, and then also I was just scrolling through Facebook, and I saw one of my buddy Brandon had liked this page called Island Distilling, and I was like, what is that? So I went and looked at it, and they labeled themselves as Mexico's first moonshine distillery.
Right.
And I was like, all right.
Okay.
Got my attention.
Talk to me.
That's interesting. And I look and they have like a bunch of different flavors of moonshine and stuff. And I was like, how is this happening? And it's maybe like 25 minutes down the highway, and it's literally on the highway.
Yes.
So if you're going between Playa del Carmen and Tulum, it's like on the right side across from Espuja Beach. We decided to go with our friend Chrissy, and we got a little ride down there and went, and it was super interesting.
It was super interesting and fun, and that we met the owners, the husband and wife.
I can't remember the wife's name. I apologize if you're listening, but the husband was Smitty.
I know. How can you forget Smitty?
Right. Yeah. And
they were both very friendly and like charismatic and great stories.
Yeah. And where would you think these people in Mexico learned how to make moonshine, you might ask?
I was going to say Georgia or, maybe somewhere in the South.
Yeah. Well, they're from Tennessee.
Yes.
So, yeah, they're not like Mexicans making moonshine down here. But I guess they used to come down on cruises a lot, and they just loved it. And they drove their RV down from Tennessee.
Yeah.
And
with all their like
with
moonshine
the still and everything.
and
Like I can't imagine how that was getting through security or through customs or whatnot.
I'm sure customs was like, what are you doing? Like, no.
Yeah.
But they got through. So.
Yeah, so but it was really interesting. They told us all how they made it, where it came, like, the history of where they learned.
Yeah.
They're from Tennessee, but they lived in Colorado for a while or something. Right. But they have 15 different flavors of moonshine, and you get to do a taste test of all of them.
What I loved was it felt like the breweries back in the day in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
We got there.
Georgia.
She was like, let me give you a tour. She gave us a tour of the whole facility, got to see the stills and everything. She told us, how their story started and how they got there and how they make everything, and then we got to taste test, so that was fun.
And you get to try all 15 of them. There's like apple pie, there's was it mango habanero, there's blackberry, what else, banana, peach,
pineapple, pina colada.
They got the old school white lightning, but I think they call it island clear. That was like twice as strong as the other ones.
That was the last one. I think we tried like 17. They had a couple new
ones.
Oh yeah,
we
coming
tried
down
some
the pipe, didn't they?
Well, no, one of them is like, we can't sell this because we couldn't. That was the thing. They have a hard time getting the ingredients, so they get.
That's right.
What was it? They get the. I mean, the water's from here, obviously.
Yeah,
they got
cenote, filtered water.
Yeah, maybe there's something that they get from Europe. I don't know. Like, I really don't know what goes into moonshine.
Yeah.
I guess I should have paid attention to the to the little instruction.
I mean, I did at the time. I was like, "Oh, this is so interesting." But
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But you're right. It was a lot like the breweries in Georgia, where you get free tastings
Yeah.
and whatever, and then the beers
free
are pretty cheap.
information, free taste.
Yeah, so that was pretty fun, right?
It was fun. We bought some. We get some.
Yeah, got a little to go. I don't know what size they are. I mean, you can bring them on a plane, I guess.
Yeah, like the 50 milliliter.
Yeah,
or
and then we got
whatever.
like a 375 of the apple pie for
give some
Christmas.
gifts and try some out with some friends.
Yes, yeah. So if you're coming down here to Playa del Carmen and you want to go, hit me up. I'll give you the information because super nice people. Hope they do well.
Really nice, good prices too. Everything wasn't like price gouge. They had like really good deals, and everything was super cute and packaged well. They have like all their marketing stuff, like bags, and it was a really nice day.
So then after that, we went across the street to the beach, Eshpuha Beach,
Yep.
and
How do you say it?
Eshpuha.
Love it.
Yeah, it's like I can't even remember how you spell it. Is it XPUHA? Yeah.
Some X
Yeah, it's
and some letters.
Mayan.
Yeah.
But and I think ha means water, so I don't know what Eshpu means, but
Oh, okay. We've heard about this beach for a while, but
Yeah.
haven't got out
I've
there.
never gone. But so we decided to go over there and drink some moonshine. And I was going and I was swimming, and you guys were just sitting on the beach, and some Russian guy came and talked to y'all. What was he even talking about?
There was like a guy with his wife, and of course, I swear it's like me and my best friend. Just random people love to talk to her more so than me, but just random people always come up to us. I don't know if we just have these friendly faces, like, please come talk to me, strange people, but they always do. So it's always a fun story. I'm not sure what he was talking about. He kept asking me where we lived. We kept saying Playa del Carmen. I'm not giving you my address. But he was like, oh, I'm looking for places around here, around the beach or whatever.
Right.
Can you recommend a realtor? Do you know where to go? And I was like, I don't live here. I live like 30 minutes that way in Playa del Carmen. And he asked Chrissy the same thing. And she was like, we don't live here. like we just kept going around in circles. But he had like the funkiest outfit on. I couldn't even pay attention to what he was saying because I'm looking at his button-up shirt. I'm looking at his shorts. And I'm like, does Nate have these? Where did this guy get these? They just have like all these funky little prints all over them of different like things.
Oh yeah. Well, did you actually see what they were?
The pants I don't remember, but the shirt he had like it said USA on it and like
Yeah.
little American flags
Yeah,
and
like
things.
the-
So I was like very confused.
That one shirt that I had like with like mushrooms and hot dogs and pizza and stuff all over
Yeah.
them, just kind of like a funky pattern.
Yeah.
It was all USA, but I couldn't see what the little character was. It looked like the Hamburglar from fucking Burger King.
Yeah, it was
or
a
something.
weird little person, but then there was like the American flag.
But yeah, it said
and
USA
like,
all over it,
Yeah.
and then his shorts were USA shorts as well. And I was like, "Are you?
Very strange.
Yeah, are you a big USA fan, or are you just trying to be like, even though you're Russian, because people can tell, you're like, I'm cool, guys. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not invading Ukraine. I am totally on y'all's side.
I am nice. We were like, where are you from? He's like, Russia. But he lived in the States for
Oh.
multiple years.
Oh,
I can't
okay,
remember what
okay.
he said,
That
like
makes
15
sense.
years or something like that. So it was interesting.
Yeah.
We were like, where did your wife go? Can you leave us alone? She just started walking off. She just left. He's standing there talking to us and just left her husband there. We're like,
like,
please take him with
Yeah,
you.
go away. We don't have a realtor. Get the fuck
we
out of
don't
here.
want him. Chrissy was about to tell him off, like, leave us alone.
Yeah. Yeah. So that we did that, and then let's see, was it the next night or the night before? You'd gone out with Chrissy to go just have dinner and some drinks or something.
Yeah, some of the girls were meeting up. We were going to do like a little happy hour.
Yeah, and I was working on. I might have been editing something. I can't remember, but I was doing
You
some
were.
work at the house, and so you guys went out maybe for like what 2 hours,
Yeah.
3 hours,
2-3 hours right down the street.
and you guys came back, and I had never seen you like that. I mean, not never, but you were not like you were like hammered or anything, but you were just like giddy and like, you know, bouncing around, and you were telling me the same stories over again. I was like, oh, who are you? Me?
Oh my gosh.
Telling me the same stories over again. You kept on asking me to come out in the patio, and I'm like literally in bed. The lights are off, and you're bringing me pizza and shit. And
I
was-
pulled an 8.
Yeah, you did. And I was like, what is wrong with you?
Happens once in a
But I was like,
million.
oh, she's getting a little tipsy. It's totally fine. And then all of a sudden you sat down on the couch and put your hands in your head, and you go, I do not feel good.
Yeah. I still feel it.
Yeah. And what happened?
I mean, everything happens so fast. You know, when you're there with the ladies and you're drinking, and some of the girls were having white wine. I don't typically drink white wine or wine. I'll have a couple glasses here and there, but I usually drink red. So I'm drinking some glasses of white wine. I don't think I had a bunch, but I had a few. We were sitting there for 2-3 hours, and I ate before I left, came back. You made me some more food. We were eating food. I was messing with my bestie on the patio, and think we smoked a little, and that might have helped make me a little dizzy, but I could not see straight. I couldn't focus on anything. Even like you talking to me was making me dizzy. I couldn't stand up. I was like a dog on the floor, like all fours. Yeah. I felt like Tiger when he would like lay out. Yeah, kitchen floor, on the tile floor, like when he would lay out and be so hot from coming back. Like,
yeah.
I felt like that. That's how I felt. You brought me a nice little pillow and like water and a little puke bucket.
Yeah. So
just in case.
Yeah. Well, and then you started throwing up.
I did, which is also very rare for me.
Yeah. So we're trying to figure out what happened so what do you think you had? Because that night you told me you had because I was like, what did you drink? Because you went from being like completely fine to puking.
Yes.
And you said you had like 3 glasses of white wine.
Now that I think about it, I know I had a couple girlfriends, my friends Stephanie and Shelly, they were there. I had 3 glasses with them, but they left about like towards the end when we were leaving. They left before us, but not too long before us. And then I know I had like 2 more while I was there once they left, because the bar we were at, we knew some other friends. They bought us a drink and whatever. So 4, maybe 5. My bestie thinks I had 5 or 6. I think I had 4 or 5. So we'll see. I don't know. I feel like she wouldn't over exaggerate, but maybe she did. I don't know. Or maybe I'm under exaggerating. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, but regardless, like you had, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but the construction started next door again.
Welcome to Mexico.
But you like the weekend before you had gone to the boat fest or boat show or whatever,
boat show.
And drinking all day, and that was the other thing that we were kind of like speculating is like you had been on some antibiotics because you had like a little something, and we were thinking, oh, maybe that's why, the medicine with the alcohol or something. But you were drinking all day at the boat show, had the same medicines, and
we drank a lot at the boat show,
right?
Seltzers, beer, champagne. We had shots, like tequila shots. I should have felt terrible. And we came home. That was great. That was good.
Yeah. And so, and you've also drank and smoked before. And we're just trying to think of all the things that could have caused you to, because it wasn't like you were like sloppy drunk or like, oh, that's usually when you throw up. You were very coherent. You're just like a little like giddy, but you weren't like sloppy drunk. So it was just weird that you went from like being okay to like bam.
Yeah.
And so then I'm like messaging Chrissy and I'm like, did somebody like slip something?
What'd you do?
Well, I was like, did you guys drink the same thing? Maybe like the wine. I don't know if wine can go bad. I don't know, but maybe it's something to do with the wine. You guys didn't drink the same thing, but your other 2 friends did.
Yeah.
So,
they felt fine.
So I don't know what it could have been, honestly, unless you're just allergic to like one specific grape. But I was messaging Chrissy and I was like, did somebody like slip her or something in her drink? Like, I thought you got roofied again. Or something.
Yeah. Again.
Yeah.
That happened.
Well,
before.
I mean, between us 2, I think we've been roofied about 4 times.
Yeah,
so
no one is
we're
trying.
just hot as shit.
We are. No one's trying to roofie us. They're trying to roofie other people, and then we get the leftover drink.
We're just
or
the
whatever.
drunks that want the drinks that the roofie targets aren't drinking.
Oh, hey, I'm not drinking this. Do you want it? And then the person's like, no.
Yeah, I know.
Not him.
I wasted the good one on you.
I did do a little bit of Googling, and I am allergic to certain types of shellfish.
Right.
Shrimp and lobster mainly. I love crab. I love scallops. Blows everybody's mind.
Crotchos.
I don't know. Crotchos, all the things. Gross. But for some reason, shrimp and lobster will give me like hives. They'll make me really hot and itchy. It happened like a month ago. I got some shrimp by accident, and I had like breakouts all over my body, like hives.
Yeah.
So I was Googling and different like white wines and different things like that. And they said people with severe shellfish allergies can also be allergic to certain types of white wine, like the way they process it or something they put in it. So that could be it. But I love the fact that you were messaging with your mom, right?
Right.
That you knew something was up. Like, you don't care if I'm drunk or what I'm doing.
No.
Go out with your friends, do whatever you want.
Ladies' night.
But you know how I am, and you knew exactly when I came back, something was wrong because, like you said, you were sleeping and I was bothering you. I'd be like, oh, sorry, babe, I'll go, over to Chrissy's or on the patio or something like that.
Yeah, you're bringing me pizza in bed when I was sleeping,
Yeah, I was like,
which
hey.
is very nice. Thank you. That's a good wife.
Like, passing over pizza across the patios because their patios are right next to each other. So she's passing pizza over and I'm bringing it to you, and you're like, dude, I don't want pizza. I'm sleeping. And I just was not getting that. So you were picking up on these little notes that something's wrong with my wife. This is not her normal, the way she acts.
yeah. I couldn't figure it out. And my mom didn't really know either. I was just trying to ask her if she knew any, because I don't know a lot about wine or anything. But we've drank wine, I mean, like you and I will, like, sometimes we'll get like a bottle of red, bottle of white when it's on sale and sit out on our patio and just have a couple glasses or whatever. And I also know from experience, you are an extremely slow drinker.
Thank you.
Which normally that's not a positive with us, because we're like, all right, we're going to the next place and we're all done with our drinks and you've taken like 3 sips out of it.
I'm like, oh, I didn't know we were leaving. Sorry, let me finish my drink. And you end up finishing it.
Yeah,
really.
so I almost have a hard time believing that you drank like 6 glasses of wine or something. Like, that's not you.
And
like,
we were talking. It was women. It wasn't like I was sitting there like, I have nothing to do. I'm drinking. We were sitting there talking, whatever. So it was very weird for me to throw up, to finish my drinks that quick. Like, everything was just, it didn't make sense.
Yeah. So
a little weird.
If anyone's had this happen before, let us know. I mean, maybe it is a brand or a type of grape or something.
Little sus.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out.
Next time I go to that bar for ladies' night, I'm going to ask them to show me the bottle of wine or take a picture of it, just so I know to stay away from that brand. It has nothing to do with the bar or whoever, this or that. Whatever wine that was did not agree with me, and I still feel it.
Yeah.
I will never drink wine again.
Very strange. Well, that was the thing. The next morning, you were like pretty okay. I know, like maybe later in the day, you were still just tired and stuff.
I was tired,
but you weren't
sore.
like, I threw up 6 hours earlier or 8 hours earlier.
I wasn't hungover.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I woke up at like 7:30, like, when you wake up like in the movies, like, what happened?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, and everything's coming back to me, and I'm just like, oh my God, it's terrible. And I'm just like, I just kept apologizing to you. You're like, it's fine, it happens. I'm just like, I felt so bad.
Yeah, so I don't know. Well, yeah, like I said, if anybody knows, let us know, because hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Yes, I won't be drinking white wine, or I'll make sure I figure out what white wine it was.
Right. Well, then you guys also went to our friend and neighbor Sarah was doing a bachata class.
Yes, you have to say it that way. Bachata. Yeah, our good friend Sarah, she is like all things Mexico. She just moved here, and I feel like she just dove into everything, learning Spanish, all the dances, like the culture. I mean, we've done a lot, but like, she's like in it, the people, everything. And she got really good at dancing at bachata and these different classes bachata that they asked her to help teach a class. So of course we had to go support our lady friend, and it was an experience.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was actually it was at our landlord's hostel.
That's
hotel.
right.
So it wasn't very far. That was fun.
The Maui Hostel.
The Maui Hostel.
Unfortunate name for this year, but
Yes. Beautiful place. Very nice. I don't know if hostels are my cup of tea, but there were a lot of guys there.
I haven't been to that one, but I can just tell you, you're not a hostel
Those
person. You like your own bed and your own space and everything.
I like it. This was like 3 or 6 bunk beds per room, like those little holes in the wall, and it was like all dudes. Where me and Chrissy are like walking by, like, what is this? And we just see like little heads poke out. We're like, ah.
And holes in the wall, you mean like the cubby beds, right?
Cubby beds,
not like it's a shithole.
No. Sorry. Like,
fucking hole in the wall.
Little bunk beds, there. But there had to have been at least like 4 or 6 in each room, and I'm just like, no, thank you.
So I saw some videos of this class, and I'm not a jealous person whatsoever, so I know like it's not something that like we really have to worry about, but this is quite the sexual dance.
Yes. I wish it was explained to me before I was like, yeah, I'll support you. Let's go dance.
Yeah. So yeah, is that weird to let your wife or girlfriend go to a bachata?
Bachata? I
Class?
mean, it's all innocent. It's
Yeah.
they teach you, you know, it was a good amount of people, maybe like 10 people,
Mhm.
12 people were there. We had a good space, but they like warm you up, you know, we're doing some like basics and showing like little steps. And me and Chrissy were like, when we got there, we're like, do we have to dance? And she's like, just try. It's fine. If you don't like it, then you don't have to. Of course, we have to dance. So we're there like doing the little warm ups. We're like, this is easy. You just got to move your hips and there's a couple steps. Got it. Cool. We love bachata. Then they partner us up with people, girls on one side, boys on the other. Totally felt like elementary school. Like,
Yeah.
Red Rover, send the boy over that I like. And, you know, like
Right.
it was just all these random dudes that we didn't know and all these random girls that we just met too. So we're like learning these steps with each other, and you have to, you know, they're teaching the men how to lead and the women how to follow. The men are supposed to push you along the way to learn this dance. And one of the guys there actually was one of our old neighbors, Rodrigo. He was there.
Oh, yeah.
So
Nice.
that made me feel comfortable. We were like, we are white girls. This is not like our normal thing. We don't move like you guys. And he's like, no problem. It's fine. We're all learning. So that was comforting. But then these other guys that were there, it was like every white dude was a bachata instructor. I swear to God. They were like moving, and you would never think that they were great at bachata, which, sorry, that I guess I shouldn't have judged.
No,
but
I wouldn't either. But I guess if you're there, you are. Because that's not just a thing like me and the boys are like, hey, guys, you want to go to the bachata class?
True.
Or, I don't know, or the sports bar maybe. Which one? You know?
It was a beginner class, so there were people that this is the first time they were signing up to do this. But
Yeah,
there were also
but-
people there that have been going to these bachata classes.
Right. But I just mean that style of dance, like that's not one that you just pick up. I mean, like you pick it up, but like
Right.
as a non-dancer, you don't just go in there. You kind of have to like dance or into dance, because it's not
Right.
just it's not doing fucking line dancing or the waltz
No.
or something or the electric slide.
No, it's very close. And of course, that night it was very warm. So we're all sweating. Everybody's a little funky, you know, but it was fun. Just, it's like my worst nightmare.
Yeah. Well, and then you like grind your crotches against each other, and then
Pretty
you
much.
turn around and you slide down their body, and it's like
I had to, drop it like it's hot a couple times. It was very, it's just funny.
Yeah.
And we're laughing, but half of the people, very serious. The other half of us, giggling like we're 4 years old. I was like, I am not an adult. I can't do this. Like, Rodrigo, you've met my husband. I'm standing there and he's like taking my hands and going up. And it's this, you know, the Sarah and then the other instructor, Jesus, which he's phenomenal. I'm probably going to like rent them for my birthday maybe, or like a
to
class.
like do a class together
Yeah,
with
like
the
do
girls.
a class here, because it was hilarious. If it was like people we knew and we were more comfortable, I feel like it would be even more fun. But it was just the elegance of everything and how close it is. I was just like, this is so awkward. I don't know how I feel about this.
Just ignore the roll of Mentos in my pocket.
Yes.
Those are not Mentos.
That was another, like, good for the guys, because there were some hot women there. And Sarah's a gorgeous girl, and she's doing all her extra, the hair flip and this and that. We're like, how do we learn that? She's like, that's next week. We're like, oh, God. But she's like going all over, and she's like, yeah, we're really good friends. And I'm like, are you guys dating now? Did you get her pregnant? Because that's how it looks. Like them dancing.
That's how it works on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh,
you know, by the
yes.
end of it, they're like the celebrities dating the professional dancer
True,
guy.
that is true. I mean, we were just sitting there and I said, I see why Latin or Spanish
Women get pregnant so often.
yes
I'll say
or
it for
have
you.
so many children,
Yeah.
because they're always doing sexy dance and sexy talk and sexy this and sexy that. I'd be like jumping your bones all the time
Yeah,
too.
that's what we always tell the white girls that come and live here. We're like, you gotta be careful. These Latino guys are gonna look at you and you're gonna
Yeah.
get pregnant.
Yes.
So you gotta be, you know,
We were like, don't look
wrap
at
it
us.
up.
It was fun. It was a fun
Cool.
experience, and maybe we'll go back.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll come with
Maybe
me.
I'll go sometime.
I think you would like it.
Maybe after 6 glasses of white wine, and I'll
Maybe
be there.
no,
Ugh.
I'd be puking all over Jose.
No,
or
no,
whatever.
me.
Oh yeah, I think you would like it. You have much better rhythm than I do. Anytime we dance at like a wedding or something, you pretty much just twirl me around.
Yeah,
or,
and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just, you know,
but you make it look good.
the
so.
IPAs are dancing at that point.
I think you would be great at bachata.
Maybe I'll try one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then we also went to our favorite park, Escheret. I know we've talked about this plenty of times before, but this is an eco park, and they have these kind of animal enclosure, I guess. They have like some animals there, and the thing I love about this place is it's not like a zoo where it's like bars and cement and whatever. Like the animals have these natural habitats, and the quote unquote like bars or fences are just natural. Like what is it, the jaguar enclosure is just like it's like a moat or something, or not a moat, but it's like a big cliff around it basically that I guess they can't jump across or something, so it doesn't make them feel like they're enclosed or anything like that,
right? They'll have like cute little pebble walls and like natural rock walls, or like the moats and different things that keep the animals in their little designated area. But it's nice because you can see them actually, instead of being like behind the glass or behind the bars.
Yeah. And so normally the monkeys, and I think they're spider monkeys, their little area, and they got a little moat around it, so there's no fences or anything like that. Normally, like during the day, we don't see them a lot because they're up in their little huts where keeping cooler in the shade because it gets hot out.
We've only seen them like once or twice in the 2 years we've been going there.
Yeah. So this day we go and they're out.
Yes.
There's one monkey up on this little like pole thing, and he's up there just kind of looking around. Yeah, like they just they're so adorable.
They look like a fuzzier version of the spider monkey on Friends, like Marcel, but they're like fluffier.
Right. And then there's this other one down, and he's in this water bowl where they're drinking water, and the water bowl is shaped like a monkey.
Yeah, it's like a little monkey holding a water bowl.
Yeah, so but he was just so cute, and I think the monkey had a little crush on his water bowl.
I think he did too.
Because he's sitting there and he's drinking out of the water, and then he looks over at the monkey water bowl and he starts like kind of kissing it and biting his nose. He's biting his nose, and then he goes in for the old monkey sexual dance of the eyeball lick.
Oh dear.
And he goes
so gross. He was like there was something in there, and he was biting the other monkey's nose. It was so funny. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but I wonder if he was just biting it, or does he really think, like, can he realize that it is a monkey?
Yeah, or maybe there were like ants or something on it, or food.
Yeah, I don't know, but
I think it was his girlfriend.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, there was only a couple other monkeys in there, so you got to make do with what you can.
He's like, "Oh, hello, are you new?"
The other female monkeys are like, "This new bitch," like I'm over here like I'm nothing.
Yeah,
like what the fuck?
Taking all the guys. Come on.
Yeah. All right, well, that is it for this week.
It was eventful.
Yeah, it was. I mean, a lot of things happened, but I'm just saying there wasn't like an enormous, I didn't have to run from the Mexican policia, so
thank God.
It's a little different weekend.
Keep that to like once a year or never again.
I'm trying. All right. Well, thank you everyone for supporting the podcast. We appreciate it. buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on hiatus. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram at Hansons on hiatus. And thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week. Happy Friday, fuckers.
Happy Friday, fuckies.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now. Bye.